Hello everyone. Welcome to my free training here today. I am Stephanie Zima from Walk It Free Mentorship, where we heal, connect, and level up. So today we will be kicking off Change Week. This week we're going to talk about how to cope with change. I will teach you I will teach you why it's so hard to accept change, realize that change might be necessary, and how to accept change and moving through it gracefully, and that will set you free, right? But before I dive into it, I want you to take a minute to tag someone you know that should really be aware of this topic, somebody who should be watching it, somebody that you know is dealing with change right now. That's who I want you to tag, and or maybe share the video out to someone on your screen, just share it out. Anyway, so talking about Change Week. I posted earlier today, the Dalai Lama says you can't change yesterday, you cannot change tomorrow, but you can only change today. So we all know this, right? I mean, come on, you guys, we all know this. We have heard these kind of things a thousand times, yet we are just simply not doing it, right? Why are we not doing it? Take a second to really think about it. It's because we are afraid of uncertainty. Humans are generally afraid of uncertainty. That's really what it is all about. Remember back then, right, when we were cavemen or women, cavemen and women, we were hiding in caves because we were so uncertain of what it is, what's out there that kills us. So it's funny, I was thinking about this yesterday, as a matter of fact, when I was talking and watching movies with my children. We were watching The Croods, and if you are remembering, like if you have ever seen this movie, and you probably know the husband was always like stuck in this cave, and he was like trying to keep everybody in, and the others wanted to get out, but that's what he knew. He was certain of it. He knew this was safe. As long as we stay in the cave, we are safe, and that's what he did. And it's the same with us. Still, we still have this feeling of anything that we don't know is danger inside of us, right? The same as when you have social anxiety, for example. Social anxiety is almost the same. We are not certain what other people expect from us, want from us, or what their agenda is. So what do? We just try to hide in our home. We're trying to hide, where we are certain no one is going to kill us emotionally, mentally, physically, right? Any of those kind of things. So that's the social anxiety aspect. But it's really just a coping mechanism. When we are afraid, we just hide. When we are afraid, we physically hide, or some of us hide emotionally, right? With inaction. We cope with social media. We cope with numbing behaviors such as binge watching TV, those kind of things. Okay. So the uncertainty is really what's causing us to be afraid. It's only that. Every time we have change, we are just literally afraid of the uncertainty. We hide from it and we avoid it. So how do we go about this? How do we change this? Because, change is just part of life. There's always something different. There's always something new. We always have something that is going to change, right? I mean, take a look at parenting, for example. Your children, they start out as toddlers or as babies, as newborns, and then they change, and then they are toddlers, and then they change, and then it's always change. There's always something else that you need to adapt to. You need to get through this, right? You have a job, right? A job changes. New rules and regulations may come out, and you have to deal with change. it's just part of life. Change will always happen. Sometimes we are only focusing on change that is bad, like the divorces and the job loss and the fear of no money, those changes, right? Those are the things we are focusing on. But it can also be positive. It doesn't mean if you get let go from your job that change is a bad one. You know, being released from a toxic work environment can actually be so positive, right? If your relationship is broken, then a divorce may actually be better for everyone. If your health is suffering from your actions, a change in lifestyle may actually set you free. You have to realize that change is not only negative. Change can also bring a lot of positivity. If your kids are acting out, right, change in your routine may actually create a positive win-win for everyone involved. So uncertainty is just a fact of life. So the faster and the more we can get that in our brains, the easier it's going to become. Uncertainty is a fact of life. No one can ever be certain of what actually will happen next day. Okay? So no one ever will be certain of anything. Really, nobody knows. Yesterday is gone. Well, we can be certain that what we did or didn't do yesterday is a fact. We don't know if tomorrow is going to be promised. We don't know if tomorrow we're going to be been diagnosed with cancer. We don't know if tomorrow we're going to get a divorce. We don't know if tomorrow someone's going to get hit by a bus. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but we do know what's going to happen today. And that's the action we are going to put in today. So how can we move through this uncertainty feeling? How can we cope with this, right? We have to learn how to become certain of the actions that we actually can control. Okay? So what do I mean? Simple. You can be certain that if you spend more money than you have, right, than you have in your bank account, if you spend more money than you have in your bank account, you will create debt. That's a fact. You can actually be certain of that. You can also be certain that if you eat too much food, you will actually gain weight. That's also a fact, right? You can also be certain that if you stop working on your relationship, it's going to die, right? Actions, so you have actions on the one side, will create a reaction on the other side, which will then create a result. So action will cause a reaction, will cause a result. So first step to cope with change really is to become certain of what we want. We have to have an idea in our brain. What is it that we want? What is it that we are looking for? What result are we after? Okay, and that's in every area of your life. You have to focus on your private life. You have to focus on your marriage life. You have to focus on your children's parenting situation. You have to focus on your career. You have to focus on your home life. What is it that you're looking for? And that's where the problem kicks in with so many of us. We kind of don't even know. We kind of don't even know what we really want. We have never taken the minute and the time to stop the hustle and bustle and busyness of life and just sat and thought, what do we want the end result to be like? What do we want our life to look like? What do we want our career to look like? How much money are we looking to have? What are we looking to do? What are we looking to create? Okay, what is that? What do we want to do? We have to get clear. That's the first step. We have to get clear. And then the second step is going to be we have to learn how to take responsibility for our actions. We are adults. Okay, we are adults and we have to understand that we are responsible for everything. We, not the blame game, do not make the blame game. It's we are responsible. If your marriage does not work out, it's because of the actions you took. It's because of the decisions you took. It's the decisions you did and made. If your career is not working, your business is not working, it's because of the actions you're doing for it. If you are in a business, in an online business, if you do not have money, it's because you are not putting in the money the time, the effort, the skill to create the outcome. Okay? I get it that there's uncertainty, like especially when you talk about your career, for example. There's uncertainty. You don't know what you may not know. Okay? But you can create certainty around it. Okay? You can create certainty around it. We need to understand that we get what we want when we put the efforts in. We need to understand what it will take to get what we want. We need to really understand, where do we want to end up with? That is our result. Where do we want to start? Or where are we starting? And what do we need to do in between? Okay, we need to gather these facts. We need to learn how to deal with that fear that comes up. Let's say we don't have a skill. How do we deal with that fear? Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit more about fear tomorrow, so make sure you stay tuned this week. But you know, what do we need to learn? We need to learn how to deal with the fear. We need to create the habits in our daily disciplines that will create the outcome we want. Okay, spending money, not spending money. Okay, let's say you want to get out of debt. You do not want to spend any money. So what habits do you need to put in place to save money? Where can you save money? Where can you have, let's say, cut expenses? You do not go eating out. You maybe understand your behavioral patterns. Like, let's say you eat out because you're too tired to cook. Okay, so that's a real thing. That's something that has happened to me a lot. Like I would want to go eat out because I just felt tired of cooking. I was exhausted. I was a mom. I was like my husband was constantly gone. He was always traveling. It was just me, and I was tired. So I ended up ordering food, and then I felt guilty that I spent the money that I didn't have as a stay-at-home mom. Okay, so what did I do? I understood that pattern, and I understood that if I feel that way, that's my action. Okay, so what I would do then is I would pre-cook. When I felt really good, I started pre-cooking foods that then would allow me to have that time and feel that way. Okay, so I created an outcome. Okay, I created an outcome that predicted the fact that I was going to have what I wanted, right? And not end up spending money. Okay, so we know that's how you create certainty. Okay, certainty in me prepping the food was, I created the certainty that I knew I could take care of myself when I was feeling down. Okay, we know that if we eat the right foods, we will lose weight. We know that if we pay our bills, we create a good credit history. We know that if we work, we will create money, right? Those are things that create certainty. And when you have certainty, you feel good about it. We can rely on the fact that when what we focus on will grow. If you never pay attention to your money, chances are money does not flow to you. Okay, if you are not putting in the effort and focusing on friendships and relationships, probably you won't have any. Okay, you have to give to get. That's just a universal law. So focus, what you focus on will grow. Action will cause a reaction. Those are facts, you guys. Those are facts. Action will cause a reaction. It's just a universal law. So if you are afraid of change, think about what your inaction is going to do as a result. Think about it. If you do not act on something, what is the result that you are going to get? If you don't like that result, you have to deal with the fear. Okay? Fear is only there because you're not knowing the outcome. Your fear is only there that because you are not really understanding what's going to happen. Okay? Tomorrow we're going to talk a little bit more about the fear and how to tackle the fear and how to move through things with fear. and how to cope that. But for today, it's the certainty. You have to create certainty. You have to know, if I shop, I will eat. If I cook, I will have warm food. That's certainty, right? If I drink a lot, I have to go pee. I mean, whatever it is, those are fear. I mean, those are certain things. Okay, you have to make sure that you create certainty in coping with change. So what I want you to think about today is, where are you at? What are you avoiding with the change? Like, what are you avoiding when you are struggling with change? What are you avoiding? What would that change like bring with you? What kind of actions would you need to take to do that? How can you create certainty with those actions? Okay, maybe if you are not taking an action because you don't have skills on something, maybe you can go to the library and get yourself a book that teaches you, or maybe you can get yourself a mentor that will teach you, or maybe if you are struggling with accountability, you're going to get a mentor that will actually help you and hold you accountable. How can you become certain from where you are to where you need to go? And when you have certainty that you are able to do it, you are going to cope with change just fine. I want to share with you real quick, I've gone through so much change in my life. I mean, it started when I was a young kid. We always had foster kids coming into our family, and they would change every 4 to 6 weeks. There would be new people in my life, 4 to 6 weeks, every single time, right? And I always had to adjust. I had to adjust to new people. So then I had relationships and they failed, and then I ended up going from Germany to America, and I had changed, and there was a lot of uncertainty. I didn't know, am I going to make new friends? Am I going to have a job? Am I not going to have a job? How am I going to do this? All these things, they were uncertain. But one thing I knew I had resilience. I know that I can learn. I know that people can give me, people can help me. People can give me skills and information and all that stuff that I need to know. I know that I have the skills to figure out the steps that I need. Okay, so even if I'm uncertain about what steps I'm going to take next, I know and I can rely on the fact that my brain will figure it out. Okay, that's how I create certainty for myself, and I move through it. And that's how I teach everybody in my mentorship group. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your values? When you are aware of what it is that's going on for you, you are going to be able to move through the change. You're going to be able to move through it. You can breathe it. You can calm your nervous system. When the fear comes up, you can calm your nervous system, and you can tap into the strength that you have, the resilience that you have inside of you when you are aware of it. So that's what I wanted to share with you. Tomorrow we're going to deal a little bit more about the fear and how to cope with that, so that you can tap into those strengths. And then over the course of the week, we're going to talk a little bit more about how to have your courage, your values, and all that kind of stuff that will help you ease through change with a breeze. Okay, so make sure you tune in. And also, if you are dealing with stuff, make sure that you are tapping into the www.walkitfree.com/heal. That's my 10 steps on how to ease your emotional pain and change your paradigm, meaning your internal belief system. That will definitely help you get started to figure out the things out for you. Okay. And if you want me to address any specific topics, if there's anything specifically that you want me to talk about or maybe coach you on or something, make sure you contact me, or you comment below here in this video. Contact me either with a DM or something. I would love to help you guys out. I know those are uncertain times right now. I know that people are struggling, and I know that I have a lot of knowledge and wisdom and nuggets to give you for free, if that is what will help you, right? Because I am in it here to help you and serve you and give all the things that I can. And if you want to dive deeper into this month only is it's my introductory rate for the mentorship is going to be over. So make sure you hop on this month. Next month, the prices are going up because I have only so many times, so many hours in the day. And yes, they're being taken up. So, right, I want to be sure that I'm going to work with those few who are really, really in it to win it for the next year to come. So make sure you're going to hop on for the rate now, because next month it'll be going up. So, okay, my friends, walk it free. Remember, listen to this, share this out, tag me in your, say, hashtag replay if you watch this later, and I shall all see you tomorrow.